All right, Jenny here with Dippin' Fun and bookworms and brushes, and we are going to paint our octopus. Okay, so I've got my paint and I am getting ready to try this out and see. So it has been a couple weeks, actually, since I pulled this little paint palette thing out. And some of it is still wet and some of it is not. So I don't know if you've seen my little ice tray thing that has the lid. Some of this is still wet in there. So we are gonna see what's still good to go. All right, so I think what I'm gonna do is paint the background of my octopus first. And I'm gonna grab my angled flat brush and dip it in some water. And then I'm gonna paint a blue. Yep, most of this paint still feels pretty good. That's awesome. Paint a blue background. So I am going to use my smaller flat brush to get around the octopus here. And I'm going to go ahead and film all of this. It's up to you how you want to do it. If you want to let it run in the background while you paint, just like the other things. There's not a whole lot of tips and tricks to this one. It's just painting it however you find you want to do it. So I'm going to start with the background just because it's easier to fix mistakes, in my opinion, by doing the octopus later. And other than that, it's up to you. So how you'll do paint the octopus. So I'm going to do my blue background. I'm going to paint my octopus red. I'm going to paint my frame like the green color, and then I'll just add my texture and stuff. So if you want to jump to the end here, when I start adding more of like the detail, you can do that. But I'm going to go ahead and just film all of this. And I probably won't talk a whole lot. So if you just want to listen to the music in the background and watch while you go, you can do that. I do like a little bit of the wood grain coming through so you can see where I allow that to happen. And then I probably will add other colors in here too as I go to sort of create like a layered vintage sort of look. So I do want to show you just a little easy way to clean up. So I've got some paint up on my tentacle right there, I'm going to take a clean brush with some water and sort of just, no, it's going to go into the clay a little bit, but just want to dilute it down a little bit so it'll be easier to cover later. So you can see that's sort of more diluted now, and it's okay if a little bit, you just don't want the big dark spots. And this clay and the wood soak up the paint really quick, so I use a lot of water. You just got to be careful about too many dripping. So I'm being a little careless and getting paint on my octopus here. Cool thing about this is I'll probably go back and add some of the blue anyway to give them a more of an aged look. And I'm gonna actually switch to my thin brush here and get in these really tiny areas. I'm mainly just adding water up in here. I haven't dipped my brush, so I can move that paint around a little bit easier once we get it in there. Now I am going to be a little more careful once we start doing the red. Because I don't want red in my ocean from the octopus, for sure. I don't really mind the blue in the tentacles because it creates like a shadow. I'll probably go back and even add more later. We'll see as we go. That's the cool thing about this painting, is you can't really mess it up. Hear people coming in and out of my house, so sorry, slamming doors. It's a beautiful day out, so the kids are running around playing. Tentacles moving around there. I'm gonna have to use some more glue. Must not have glued that one. Some of this guy stayed pretty well and then other parts did not, so. But that Elmer's glue, school glue, works really well with this, so this will make it easy to get under him. All right. So I've got pretty happy with the blue. I'm actually gonna not clean my brush, pick up a little bit of this green, and add this here and there. I want it to keep it mainly blue. But I just like the layered colors. Okay, looking cool. So I am going to switch to my big brush. I'm going to get it wet, and then I'm going to pick up quite a bit of this green. And I like being able to see a little bit of that wood through it, so that's up to you. You can layer it more or leave some of the wood green coming through. I'm mainly going to just do the top and the inside for now, and then I'll do that outside part of the frame afterwards. And then as far as whether you want to paint the back or not, that is up to you as well. I don't think I did on my original, but if you're going to have it like sitting more like on a shelf or something versus hanging, I would probably do that. And I plan on putting mine with my bookshelf with my book to display them together. probably gonna have to pull out my small brush for that area. I don't want to get too crazy with the paint. Okay. I think I got most of that done. So moving your frame around too gives you a better look at where you might have missed behind one of the tentacles and stuff too. So I've got them upside down now, so you can see all of the areas I need to get a little better. Okay, and then this tentacle right here is like on there, but not really, so I'm not really sure how that's what it's attached to, but take a little bit of my Elmer's glue and stick this sucker on there a little better. Clean some of that glue up. Got too much. There we go. Now that should be nice and attached here soon. Okay. All right. And then you still have to do it around the edges. I'm gonna wait to do that towards the end. And I'm gonna go ahead and start doing my octopus. So I'm gonna grab my flat angled brush again, rinse that out, and I wanna do like this. I think I'm gonna do the dark red here. And I'm just gonna coat him. Now this is the point I think you want to be a little more careful with not getting the red into the blue. Won't be the end of the world if you do. Like I said, we're gonna sort of mix all the colors towards the end, but I'm gonna be a little more careful this time. So just don't overload your water with, or your brush with water. I'm gonna switch to my smaller round brush. Try to get a little more detail underneath. So just use whatever brush you're most comfortable with. think what I'll do is use this brush first to get around the edges of the tentacles. It's like up underneath them almost, before I fill the top piece out. Need to turn my text message down when I do this. Sorry, heard Mario die. So getting around these curves is definitely the hardest part about this painting and the sculpture and everything. I think the sculpture part is not that hard, but this part, trying to get around all these little nooks and crannies that you created, is definitely the most tedious piece. You gotta move it all around to make sure you got it all. So I've only looked at it one direction, so there'll be even more here in a minute when I turn directions. Oh no, I got red on my frame. Alright, I'm gonna have to see if I can fix it. Actually, just kidding, because I'm gonna put red on it anyway, so I just need to blend it out a little bit so it doesn't look so harsh. I did put red on the original. So you can see on the original I did, like, that's actually red, the streaky. So I'm gonna do that because I got some red down there. And I don't want that to be quite so intense. There we go. We're gonna add more here in a little bit anyway. Okay. So our octopus is pretty much where we want him to be. So now we get to do, so there's little bits of blue like underneath the leg and stuff that I want to, well, some areas I want to fix. Where I can still see like the light from the wood. So like up under here. And then this area down in here. It's not a lot. Just notice it more once you get the octopus painted. Okay, so now I'm going to take my little brush and I'm going to add a little water, and I dipped it in the dark blue. I'm going to add some shading to my octopus, some watered down blue, the dark blue. So that's why this is such a forgiving project. It's, you can't really, even if you mix the colors and get them on each other, you can make it work. You just don't want big blobs. And then up here, this leg that's sort of behind, we want to darken this up quite a bit. That'll make it look like it's behind his head a little better, more off. I'm going to darken this one up too because it's a little bit more behind, and this one. So the ones that you want to push back further, you want them a little darker. Okay. And then I am going to continue with my brush, and I'm going to actually just dot, give them some texture. Okay. And then I'm going to use this light orangey red here. Need to add a little water to it. A little bit dry. I'm going to dot with this as well. I'm going to add the highlight with this. So in the darker areas, I'm just dotting it, that orangey red color, and then adding highlights here and there. All right, then I'm going to take a little bit of the yellow. Same thing, add some dots. Okay, need a new paper towel. Getting a little crazy with it here. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna pull them up so you can see some of the detail. So you can see it's sort of, well, there's a lot of shine on there. Hopefully you can see some of the texture and stuff. And it's sort of messy, which I like. All right, so I'm gonna grab my big brush and I'm going to put a little blue on here again. Okay, and then I'm gonna rinse my brush and then I'm going to grab some of the red. And I just want a little bit. I'm gonna dry brush some of the red over the green frame. So dry brush is in very little paint and you just rub it back and forth so it looks rough. Okay, so I am going to show you how to just add some little details to this, and we're going to do the eyes. So this last part will be pretty quick. So I have my paint here again that I need to open up, and then I am going to use my teeny tiny brush. So if you have a teeny tiny liner, we're going to do that. And then I am going to grab, oh, hold on, I forgot my water. Just kidding. Alright, got my water. Okay, so I'm gonna dip my paintbrush in the water and then grab a little bit of white. And then we're gonna make sort of like ovally shaped eyes as well, just like in those areas that we went with, how we made our little curved area anyway. And that doesn't make any sense what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying. Need a little more water. Alright, so I feel like this is probably the hardest part, is getting a nice smooth eye. Okay. And then I'm gonna rotate it so it's a little bit easier for me. You can see that's actually a little bit easier than what I just did. So I'm like almost pulling and dragging, so it creates like that oval. There we go. That's pretty good. And I waited till my red paint was nice and dry too before I put the eyes on. And then all we have to do is put the little pupils in there, but I am going to let that dry a tiny bit more, and I'm going to show you something fun that I did not do to my original, but I thought would be really cool, and we're going to try it on here. So I have, this is just like glitter glue from the Dollar Tree, so super inexpensive. There is some beautiful glitters and stuff if you go to like a craft store and get some of those. This glitter glue from the Dollar Tree, just FYI, does take a long time to dry, I have found, but it looks pretty once it does dry. It's also a cool way to seal everything. So if we wanted to do that, and I think right now what I want to try is just putting the glitter on the background. Now, something about this is you do want to make sure you wash your brush good, because this is like actually like glue. Now, a lot of the like cool craft paint companies make some really cool glitters like to paint on too, that I think are more like water based than this. They're a little easier to get out of your brush, but as long as you don't let it dry, you're not in bad shape. I don't know how much you guys can see on there. This one you could even leave a little thick to create like almost texture if you wanted. So it's really up to you how much you want to add. Looks cool. It reminds me of my room when I was a kid. I had like glittery blue sparkly walls that I painted stars on in my room. And I had bright red carpet. It was a very, very colorful room. I had a tie-dye bed. It was like all these colors, and then lots of glitter. Very 2000s. Stars and moons. That was super in back then. 2000s, late 90s. Telling you my age. Alright. So I'm just picking up whatever chunks I have left and putting them in the other corners. Now, this I think would be really pretty if you put it on your octopus too, if you wanted to do that. And add glitter to him. I think that would be cool too, but I'm going to keep him matte for me, myself. But he would definitely look cool, shiny as well, and glittery. So the cool thing about art is you don't have to spend a ton of money if you want to. That's how I try everything. I buy the inexpensive like brands of things before I decide I want to get the good stuff, just to play with it and see if I think I'm going to keep going. So like I said, this is just, I think it came in a pack of 3 even from the Dollar Tree. So it's super inexpensive, and I've actually used this glitter a bunch of times because it works. There's no reason to spend a bunch of money. Alright. Hopefully, let me see if I can capture. Oh yeah, you can see it a little bit there. See it look glittery? Isn't that pretty? Okay, and then I'm going to do the eyeballs. They're sort of like little slits, so. Huh. Hold on, let me get a little bit of water. I don't think my. Oh, I see. I'm also picking up the green instead of the black. I was wondering why that looked greenish. Hold on just a second. That will make so much more sense. Alright, so there we go. I like that better. And, oh my gosh. I'm a mess. Just broke my leg off. I like crushed it with my finger, with my hand. Alright, so you can see I messed up right there. I'm going to fix that. I'm going to clean my brush really good. And my white should be pretty clean, or pretty dry. I can't talk today. So I'm just taking a clean brush, and hopefully I can just pick up some of that black. There we go. It's not too bad. Like I said, I feel like this is one of the hardest parts, is getting this symmetrical eyeballs. If you have paint pens or a Sharpie, you could cheat and use one of those. There we go. Alright, now I need to fix my little leggy. It's a little bit fragile. I got under there and painted awfully well. There's like nothing missing. Alright. So... there he is. I'm going to take a little bit of my red paint. Go right over that crack there. There we go. Good as new. Okay, and then my eyes. So on my original, I sort of did like a wash. So you can do that too if you want. Over top the eyes, so the brightness, but this would be something you need to let it dry a little bit longer. Let me show you. I did like sort of a blue wash over everything, so you can see it's not quite as bright. I'm gonna leave this guy like this though. I sort of like everything's a little bit brighter on him. So I've got two different things going on. My more muted octopus and my bright octopus with the glitter. So there you can see how you can do two different things. I did like a wash over everything on this one, and everything is much more muted. And the bright intensity of this one. And my leg looks good, yeah. Looks like it's already adhering, so that's awesome. So there we are. He will look amazing with your... I was looking to see if I have my book anywhere in here. I don't see it. This will look beautiful with your book at the end, and you can sit it on your bookshelf. I'd probably sit it on a bookshelf with this, unless you have some good... I don't know, like I guess it would hang up fine. You could do like, actually like rope from here would be really cool if you could put a little tacks in there. But yeah, so whatever you guys, I'd love to see them if you have a place that you're going to put your guy. And I hope more than anything this just brought you some relaxation and fun. Even if you decide not to display him, I hope this was like a fun little experience and something that you had never tried before. And I'm excited to start some new projects with you guys soon. Alright, I can't wait to see your octopuses. Bye.